Na-excite po ang buong bansa dito sa inyong pahayag that we are expecting $100 billion in investments in the next 5 to 10 years. Ang tanong po ng marami, ito po ba ay target na makamit or is this like a commitment and something that is really to be expected?
Ano mo, estimate yan. Estimate lang yan, Ali. Kasi we are looking at it from the point of view na there is, example lang, yung semiconductor industry, that's an $80 billion business that is moving out of China. And if we are one of 7 countries that have been chosen by the United States, identified na yun ang doon nila ilalagay itong a big portion of the semiconductor industry, which is really a very important one dahil security yan. Tayo, kasama na tayo ngayon dito sa trilateral. Japan is also in the semiconductor. So we're already in the semiconductor industry, pero lalaki yan. So we expect, maski na makakuha lang tayo dyan ng mga 20 billion. That's already, so we're already halfway through almost, let's say, 3/4 of the way to the 100 billion. This is a program for the next 5 years.
Yeah.
Yung 10 years is mas malaki pa yan eh. Kaya very conservative yung estimate niyan of $100 billion in investments that will be coming our way. Isang industriya lang yan. We're expecting, of course, in digital infrastructure, marami na pumapasok sa atin yan. Yung mga manufacturing na dilipat rin sa atin, yung solar panels na malaking requirement nila dyan. All of that is going to be going towards our end. So it's a very conservative estimate, yung $100 billion that we're expecting in the next 5 years.
Okay. Bago lang natin bitawan yung semiconductor expected natin, the US is really, Ambassador, moving out of the supply, yung supply chain talagang linilipat na nila out of China and out of Taiwan para less vulnerable to conflict-related disruptions. Meron po bang concern din? May security concern din pa out of sourcing these chips from China?
Yes, siyempre. Dahil talagang right now, ang tawag nila, they're in competition nga, di ba? So, tingin nila, yung semiconductor, which really involves a lot, ginagamit yan nila for their security, gusto nila in a safer area. Tayo, since we have already signed in as one of their closest allies, at saka we're part of that tripartite agreement between Japan, the United States, and the Philippines, we're going to really be bumped up into one of the priority areas where they want to transfer the semiconductor industry.
Okay. So, Ambassador, that's very nice to hear. That's good news. I also recall during the trip of the President to the US, he addressed, he was requesting na sana ibalik na po yung GSP program, yung Generalized System of Preferences, para po hindi na po may karagdagang taripa para sa mga ine-export po natin. How did the US react to this? Because it was, they stopped nung December 2020, if I'm not mistaken.
2020, yes, correct.
So will they be able to reinstate that so that at least when we export, it's tax-free?
Yes, in fact, kausap namin lahat ng mga I've been meeting quite a number of U.S. legislators, senators, and congressmen. All of them, especially after the president announced the EDCA, which is really the biggest story here less than a year ago, that is when they started to tell us, what can we do for you? And that's where we brought in the idea of having the GSP reinstated. So we are one of about a number of countries that also are asking the United States to renew the GSP. And definitely we're in the priority list.
Okay.
So yun po bang yung... is that reciprocal, yung hindi pagpataw po ng taripa? Is that why you are also calling for a bilateral free trade agreement?
Well, the free trade agreement is another aspect of what we're trying to do. Kasi marami rin mga American companies actually, yung Philippine-American Chamber dyan sa Manila, they're asking us to push for a free trade agreement dahil it will help their industry, their manufacturing there in the Philippines, and they would want to be able to export it, of course, to the United States as a big market. So we're also pushing along those lines yung free trade agreement, which is a different one. Ang problema lang natin sa free trade agreement, siyempre, there is a little bit of resistance dahil ang pinupush ng US yung Indo-Pacific Economic Framework kasama lahat ng ASEAN. Kasi siyempre malaki yung market na yan eh. We're talking about 650 million people. Mas gusto ng US na kasama lahat ng ASEAN countries for an Indo-Pacific Economic Framework which basically will choose industries that will come into the United States on a free trade basis.
Okay.
Let's get together. Sunday 25. Sunday 25.